Applebee's has a brand new Big Easy menu. It features all your Bourbon Street favorites in one new menu. Plus a new Bourbon Street chicken and andouille sausage penne starting at just $11.99. With Cajun flavors sure to get your taste buds dancing. Applebee's is bringing Bourbon Street to your street. Make sure to try the Big Easy menu now. Only at Applebee's. Only at Applebee's.
Limited time price, participation, and selection may vary.
On today's Smart 7, drama in the North Sea, Ukraine and US set to meet for talks in Jeddah and much more. It's Tuesday 11th of March, it's World Plumbing Day, and happy birthday, Jodie Comer.
The Smart 7, it's news, but not the news.
There was a bizarre incident in the North Sea on Monday as oil tanker the Stena Immaculate was hit by a Portuguese cargo vessel, the So Long, while the tanker sat at anchor. The problem was that the Immaculate was loaded with US jet fuel and the So Long was carrying 15 containers of toxic chemical sodium cyanide. The result? A massive blaze, and the crews of both vessels had to abandon ship, with one person still missing and another hospitalised. Martin Boyers, the CEO of the Port of Grimsby, says it's thanks to the quick response from authorities that there weren't any more serious injuries.
Clearly, the tanker was carrying the jet fuel, obviously, that was collided with. And then that's where I think we're seeing the severity of the images come through. But it's fantastic to hear of the first-rate response from HM Coast Guards.
It's still a mystery as to how the accident happened at all, as both ships should have radar and warning systems to prevent this kind of collision. Joshua Hutchinson, who is the MD of global risk management firm Ambry, says authorities will need to work out what went on.
Well, there will be an investigation. The Marine Coast Guard Agency are all over it. In due course, there will be an inquest into what's happened, how it's happened, why it's happened. Because, to be honest, with all the technology that all these vessels have, there's no way it should have happened.
Donald Trump's Secretary of State Marco Rubio, along with other White House officials, have headed to Saudi Arabia for talks with Ukrainian officials. Zelensky himself was also in Saudi Arabia on Monday, but he was there to meet with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Trump's Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff was sounding positive about the setup to the talks.
There's been a lot of discussion between our teams and the Ukrainians and the Europeans who are relevant to this discussion as well. And I would like to describe it as progress.
Trump's decision to cut off military aid and intelligence for Ukraine has had an immediate impact on the war, with Russia redoubling its efforts to gain ground, including in the Kursk region, where Ukrainian troops are at risk of being encircled. Trump has continued to claim that Ukraine has no option but to accept peace talks, and he's even suggested that Ukraine may not survive. Ukrainian MP Ilya Serko-Klimenko has a different view.
We would like to remind Mr. Trump that we are a nation of more than 1,000 years and we survived many wars and we will survive this one. But the problem is how many lives, innocent lives of civilians, we will lose.
Home Secretary Yvette Cooper has rejected a request from the family of murdered Tory MP Sir David Ames to open an inquiry into events surrounding his death. The popular MP was stabbed to death at a constituency clinic in October 2021. The man convicted of killing him was described as a fanatic of the Islamic State and sentenced to a whole life order in 2022. But Sir David's family have been calling for a full public inquiry into the case, something the Home Secretary has rejected after consulting with a coroner, and she says it would be hard to see how an inquiry could go beyond the trial and a review that has already been published. His daughter Katie Ames says that's not acceptable.
This is not a political game where you get to brush things under the carpet and sweep things under the rug in order to negate your wrongdoings and to make yourself look less negligible. This is someone's life we are talking about.
One of the key focuses for the new Labour government has been the housing crisis, and they're working overtime to meet their pledge of 1.5 million new homes by the end of this parliamentary term. Housing and Planning Minister Alex Norris was busy on Monday, announcing changes to planning laws which are designed to slim down the process and speed it up. He also suggested that householders who are living near new energy infrastructure like pylons could get up to £250 off their annual electricity bill. It's all intended to get more construction underway and avoid some of the ridiculous delays that have plagued developers.
For example, there's a development in Bradford that's next to a cricket pitch and has been held up. The hold-up is around a disagreement on the speed at which cricket balls are hit. And that, as a result, has meant that the whole process is now multiple years down the line and there's no build-out. That's not an effective planning system, and that's why we're making the changes we're making today.
Still to come on today's Smart 7, Newcastle Eye Carabao Cup final and Sue Perkins gets her chest set out. Right after this.
Come on down to Boost Mobile and turn your tax refund into 6 months of savings?
Nope, all wrong. You're on the radio touting Boost Mobile's 5G network. You gotta use your radio voice, like this.
Come on down to Boost Mobile and get 6 months free when you buy 6 months on our best unlimited plans. Now you go.
This is just how my voice sounds.
Just say it like you mean it.
Okay.
Plus, enter to win up to $10,000 and double your tax refund.
Oh my.
Requires upfront payment. Taxes and fees extra. Terms and exclusions apply. Visit boostmobile.com for full offer terms and sweeps details.
Welcome back. There was one Premier League game on Monday night before this week's Champions League and Europa League second leg fixtures get underway. It could be a massive week for Manchester United if they can beat their Spanish opposition at Old Trafford, but their morale won't have been helped by boss Sir Jim Ratcliffe's tell-all interview with Gary Neville. He says if United hadn't made the cuts they did, they'd have run out of money by Christmas, and he's not expecting to win any more silverware before 2028. Back to Monday night, and Newcastle picked up a 1-0 win at West Ham with a goal from Bruno Guimaraes. He was happy with the win, but more focused on Sunday's Carabao Cup final against Liverpool.
I think it's massive for the club history. We want to be part of it. We want to make history. We know we're going to play against one of the best teams in the world nowadays. But I have confidence in ourselves. Hopeful we can go to Wembley and get the title.
She's been the queen of Thronecast, but now she's turning her attention to knights and bishops as well. Yep, Sue Perkins has found a new hobby, playing chess, or at least watching grandmasters do battle in the brand new Chess Masters The Endgame, which will attempt to make chess sexy, or at least popular. The show, which is on BBC Two, features 2 teams of 6 up-and-coming chess lords as they do battle for the crown. Sue says it's actually pretty exciting to watch.
Their passion becomes incredibly contagious. We've got David Howell, the Grandmaster, making sense of particular moments in the game. And then we've got Anthony, who people might know from the Traitors, giving this extraordinary, almost like Formula One style, excitable commentary, which brings it to life.
The brand new live-action version of Snow White is due to hit cinemas in 10 days' time, but it's not been smooth sailing so far for the new version of a Disney classic. There was backlash from fans over the casting of Rachel Zegler as the iconic princess, and there was criticism of the CGI work in early teasers, but Disney bosses have their fingers crossed that it's all just a storm in a teacup. The movie stars Zegler as the princess and Gal Gadot as the Wicked Queen in a remake of the animated classic that was first released in 1937.
It's time. This is my kingdom.
You dare to disobey me?
The Queen stole it from all of us. Come on.
Find Snow White.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.
Come on down to Boost Mobile and turn your tax refund into 6 months of savings?
Nope, all wrong. You're on the radio touting Boost Mobile's 5G network. You gotta use your radio voice, like this.
Come on down to Boost Mobile and get 6 months free when you buy 6 months on our best unlimited plans. Now you go.
This is just how my voice sounds.
Just say it like you mean it.
Okay.
Plus, enter to win up to $10,000 and double your tax refund.
Oh my.
Requires upfront payment. Taxes and fees extra. Terms and exclusions apply. Visit boostmobile.com for full offer terms and sweeps details.